Iowa. Key facts. Abbreviation IA. Nickname: the Hawkeye State, the Tall Corn State. Capital: Des Moines. Flower: wild rose. Tree: oak. Bird: eastern goldfinch. Rock: geode. Motto: our liberties we prize and our rights we will maintain. Iowa's best-known fictional native is probably James Tiberius Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. In several Star Trek episodes he is called or calls himself an Iowa farm boy. Indeed, most Iowa natives will be called that or something similar when they leave the state to start a new university or a new career. There is corn in the state's seal, and there is corn in the state's image and reputation. The seal also shows the riverboat, although in truth Iowa is wedged between the Mississippi and the Missouri, those rivers making up the border with Illinois and Wisconsin to the east, and with Nebraska and South Dakota to the west. Iowa is known for illimitably huge flat cornfields, for Midwestern dullness. It is a place to escape from, as did Marion Morris, wisely changing his name to John Wayne, and the two Supermen, George Reeves and Brandon Roth. The state's reputation for sameness and tedium makes me determined to like it. Circumstances do not lend a hand in this well-meaning enterprise. We have come to Fairfield, the county seat and principal town of Jefferson County, which lies somewhere between Iowa City and the Missouri state line. There is nothing much to mark it out from other small prairie towns in this Midwestern United States: a square, a convention center, a fine red brick courthouse that looks like a mini St. Pancras station, a center for the performing arts, notable for being the first named in honor of the composer Stephen Sondheim. Remnants of the old railway lines that used to connect Fairfield to the greater world, all the amenities of municipal edifices you would expect in any medium-sized county seat. Just north of the town, there had flourished in obscurity for 100 years an educational establishment called Parson College, which enjoyed a brief bout of notoriety in the late 60s as a haven for Vietnam draft dodgers and academic last chances. Flunk-Out U, as it was known, eventually had its accreditation removed and was closed in 1973. We pan to a flashback of the Beatles arriving at Rishikesh, India to study transcendental meditation with the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. TM becomes all the rage and adherents from around the world flock to courses and schools, nowhere more so than in the United States of America. With a business acumen that seems always to characterize self-styled spiritual people, the Yogis team happened on that recently closed Parsons College in Jefferson County, Iowa, which they buy for an undisclosed sum. MUM. Since 1974, the Maharishi University of Management, formerly Maharishi International University, has opened its doors to students from around the world. I have come to have a look around both at its campus and a new township that has been built just outside Maharishi Vedic City. I look in on the office of one Dr. Fred Travis, who has got his daughter Diana wired up with dozens of electrodes to a computer. He is monitoring her EEG activity as she goes in and out of TM states. He explains to me what these data on the screen reveal, but I am ashamed to say that the theory has all gone out of my head. I seem to recall being surprised that the claim from TM is not that the brain relaxes, but that it becomes more active. I may have got that wrong. I've never met any regular TM practitioner who has struck me as having a mind of any special speed, dynamism, or creative energy, but I have no doubt that practice gives pleasure and rewards to remain. When the electrodes are implanted in my brain, I can't tell what it is that is different about the readings, but Dr. Travis, whose qualifications are real enough, assure me that these experiments prove something. He's less comfortable when I ask him about yogic flying and other aspects of Vedic science. Well, next I wander around the campus, noting the Maharishi Tower of Invincibility. There are almost no signs of the original Parsons College. Despite most of that campus being on the National Register of Historical Places, nearly all of it was bulldozed to make way for new buildings that, according with the Maharishi's Sapatya Veda, which is a kind of Vedic feng shui. A few years before he died, the Maharishi informed the world that it was vital to the whole planet to live and work in buildings constructed according to Sapatya. It seems to come down to everything facing east and looking like a ghastly impersonal hotel. I'm in a thoroughly bad mood by this time. I wouldn't mind all this nonsense if it didn't arrogate half-understood principles of Western science, attempting to marry its philosophy with the ideas behind quantum mechanics, probability, chaos theory, and other essentially mathematical and empirically derived concepts. You cannot simultaneously insult Western thinking and use its precepts to prove your moronic theories, not without losing my respect at least. I go to the dining hall and eat with some of the students. The food, at least, is excellent, all organic, all fresh, non-processed or frozen. I sit with some students, mostly Muslims, who come to the university to study computer science, which seem to be far and away the most popular course. They all appear to put up with these strictures of the university, light out by 10 p.m. and forced by physical exercise and TM, as the price they are willing to pay for an American education. I ask them if they will continue and adhere to the Maharishi's teaching and to TM after they leave. They all laugh. Of course not. A painful night follows. I am staying in a hotel of Vedic City, which turns out to be a collection of houses off the main road, with no focal center, and no sense at all of being a city or a community. The hotel does not serve alcohol. No winding down glass of wine or warming tumbler of whiskey for Stephen. I go to bed, in a very bad mood indeed. Early the next morning I watched the rush of studentry to the main dome. They have to get there by 8 o'clock to swipe their cards through a machine, paid into the hall, and meditate for 20 minutes, which gives them course credits. If they miss more than a few of these daily rituals, they will be fined and docked their credits. I find this all very creepy. The film crew say that they think the students look too pale, too thin, and too unhealthy. Where is the laughter, the fun, the boisterousness? Cynical about this weird place as I am, I point out that it is, after all, 5 minutes to 8 in the morning. To find a student awake at that hour is miracle enough. To expect boisterousness would surely be asking too much. I am pleased to put Maharishi University of Management and its Vedic city behind me. Pleased to see the Tower of Invincibility diminishing in the rear view mirror, as I enjoy the Mississippi once more and prepare to head back east and towards the Great Lakes.